Welcome to day one of the Falaya Focus Podcast. Welcome in, guys. I'm excited about it. We got three heavy hitters in the podcast community here today to talk about content creation. Guys, we are trying to create something amazing here at Falaya Real Estate, and we need y'all to like, share, and comment on all of our content. Tell everyone about it. And guys, y'all better get pumped up because guess what? We're coming. We are coming, boys, and we're going to be loud and we're going to be proud, and you better get ready. So anyway, guys, just wanted to kind of kick it off with an intro. Obviously, not everybody, maybe everybody knows you, but maybe they don't, right? So just kind of introduce each other. We got Patrick Grimmy on with the Patty G Show, Jordy Collada with the Jordy Collada Show, and Matt Anderson with One Team, One Podcast. So quickly, just kind of tell us, number one, why you started your podcast and kind of what got you started. What do you do with your podcast? I know everybody's got a little bit different of a format. Some people do it every day. Some people do it once a week. Some people do it when they feel like it. Some people do it when they have a couple drinks or feel rowdy, So I guess kind of just tell us a little bit each about your podcast. I guess kick it off.
Well, yeah. One Team, One Podcast. We started. That was right when COVID started. Literally, we were about to preview the LSU Ole Miss baseball series, and then the Utah basketball player ended the world with COVID. I forgot his name.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. Just I hate him so much. And you said his name. I don't even want to say his name. But
went quick with that.
But yeah, I had another podcast with a group of friends, and it was more off topic, and we were having a lot of fun with it. And I love LSU sports, and born and raised in Baton Rouge. And me and my little nephew, who was in college at the time at LSU, we started it together in a bedroom, and we were just having fun with it. And the goal has just to have fun. Like, I have a day job. I'm going to keep my day job.
So we got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah, or we'll have consequences, I'm sure. But that needs to stay the case. And we were just doing a weekly audio podcast, and it kind of grew into some stuff, and we were having fun on social media and doing a lot of dumb antics. But it's kind of grown into a thing where it's legitimately almost a business, scary to say, but it's kind of getting to that point where but it's just got to stay fun. And that's kind of our little motto that we have with our group of guys. If it's not fun, probably not going to do it. It's got to be fun to us, it's got to be funny, and it's got to be entertaining to us first, and then but that's kind of how we got started. It was because of COVID, and we were bored, and we needed something to do, and we were just cutting up stuff and learning how to do stuff. And now I'm geeking out on all the equipment over here, but it was I didn't know what I was doing, but now here we are.
Yeah, so. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Welcome to podcast.
Jacob does anyone really know what they're doing?
I don't know. Fake it till you make it, baby. You know what I mean?
Podcasting, right?
Yeah, right. But I've been seriously impressed by you, and it's been awesome to meet you, man. It's just, how fast it took off was seriously impressive.
Yeah, it's mostly because of fake posts that we'll make and just getting attention, clickbait material. But it's just fun. We have our own weird, sick sense of humor, and we just try to stick with that kind of stuff. It runs in my family, actually. It's just they giggle at things that nobody else giggles at, and that's what makes me laugh, and I'm going to keep doing that. So,
what about you, Patty G?
So I started my show back in September of 19 and started out with an iPhone 8 on my dining room table and was like, look, I just need the idea for the show is what it is today, promoting Baton Rouge and Baton Rouge businesses in any way, shape, and form we can by bringing on business leaders to share their unique story.
Right.
Our tagline is local entrepreneurs sharing local stories. Right. And so it started with me and my iPhone, and I wanted to do video at first, but I was very nervous about doing video. So I was like, let me just do a voice memo. So I did a voice memo. It was like 6 or 8 minutes.
Right.
Uploaded that thing to Anchor, and away we were. And then
Anchor, baby.
Anchor was.
I know. I that's the first time how I did. Like a long time ago, I bought this one camera, and I launched my own little podcast. It's still probably live on Anchor, and then but I didn't take it and run with it. Now
don't be bashing Anchor. I'm still
on
Anchor, man.
You gotta love it. No, I know it's amazing. So what you can do with so little, right? And to start and move forward. Yeah. I think a lot of people that might want to watch this, are looking and trying to figure out, hey, how do I get started? What, how do I kick it off?
Just a recording device. You don't need anything fancy.
Right.
I mean, I've always been with the mentality with the whole show going all the way throughout the years we've come from an iPhone to Amazon gear to a producer to a team of producers to now in the Falaya Focus studio was always been how can we do things as low buck as possible so at the end of the day if somebody says, oh, well, you just dumped a bunch of cash into it, that's why it's successful.
Right.
No, we started with an iPhone. We started and gradually grew with it. We didn't outbuild before we even got anything.
Right.
And so now we're here in your studio, recorded episode 106 yesterday. So we're moving and grooving.
It's great.
No doubt. What about you, Jordy? I mean, I know you've had we're in media.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting too, because the media is kind of all of y'all have been in media at some level.
I spent a decade in traditional media,
Right.
radio, and 6 years hosting morning radio here in the market, and we had produced a pretty popular show. I had a couple of co-hosts along the way. I started with Derek Panamsky, who moved on to work for LSU football and Ed Ogeron, and then I sat next to Hunt Palmer for a minute, who's now hosting afternoon radio on that same station, and then I ended up with T-Bob Hebert, who's still in that show, and in our final 2 seasons together, in our 2 years together, we produced a top 10 show in mid-market radio across the country. We were doing something special over there, and we got into some negotiation, and I thought it deserved more money. They didn't. We came to a handshake and walked our separate ways. And a year ago yesterday, we celebrated 1 year of our podcast,
awesome.
The Jordy Culotta Show, and we just kind of had no parachute. We had to jump in the plane and figure out how to fly.
Right.
And as all of you can attest to, I mean, it takes a great team, and we got a great team of people. We moved into a studio on January 1st. We were doing it out of the place that we were calling the undisclosed location. That was absolutely.
By the way, great marketing.
Yeah, man.
The UDL. I mean, dude, that was brilliant.
And we can break some news here. I mean, it was in the back of my house.
Now you can say it.
Right,
now I can say it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody knows.
It's over.
Nobody's
now,
gonna stalk
You mean I drove around in circles around Baton Rouge for 2 hours, and it was really in your backyard?
Mike T could have told me.
Yeah, with a handkerchief over your face, right?
Yeah. I was led into the building. I was like,
we did that to Will Wade.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, "What the fuck, Durham, what do you got me doing, man?
dude.
I'm doing you a huge favor here.
You don't
Take
wanna
the blindfold
see
off of me, dude." But I mean, it's been an incredible run. It's been an incredible ride, and we really are just feeling like we're just getting started. We are building a digital media network and looking for talented, creative, interesting people that look to tell stories. And we've launched our first show under the FM digital media umbrella, and that is Mikey Matuk, former All-American, first-round pick, pretty popular in the area, still trying to make his way into the big leagues, again here in a spring training, but has really started to think about life after baseball, and he's jumped into business with us and launched his show, and he did his third show today, and he had Anthony Renato on, and they've talked to Kevin Galsman had his first sit-down interview with Matuk on his show after signing his $100 million deal with Toronto, and things are looking up. I mean, it's going really good, and it's going really fast, and entrepreneurship is filled with a lot of emotions, man.
I would agree. There's a lot of highs, and there's sometimes it's lonely when you.
It is very. It could be it could be lonely, or it could be rowdy. You know what I mean? And it could be all of the above, and things that I've got no idea that are coming. Right? I mean, there's a lot of surprises around. It feels like every bend, but it's been awesome, man. I mean, really and truly, where I was very comfortable and loved what I was doing, and couldn't imagine doing anything else. But now being on this side and being in this space, it's I feel more like that. Like I can't imagine being.
Sometimes you get pushed into
traditional
opportunities, and it just ends up the moment you don't realize it just comes out to be like the best thing.
No doubt about it. And I was standing on the plane, kind of just holding on to the the oh shit handle, and they just picked up the back of it and they kicked me out. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I got to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
So it was. It's probably that's the way it needed to happen. I mean, that's the way it had to go down for it to really be shoved into overdrive and get us to a momentum where we are now.
Well, the name of the company is fantastic. FM. Yeah. I mean, get it. I get it.
No doubt, man. It's been great to watch. I mean, you're up to a lot of subscribers and a lot of people watching you, man. It's just been amazing to be there and kind of be part of it a little bit from afar. And, we love what you got going on. I guess that comes to, what channels do y'all think, like everybody's got a little bit different stuff. Like what channels and what social media avenues are you pushing, and how are you growing your podcast? I think a lot of people, we're hitting record tonight, the first time, day one, launching this thing. Like, how do we actually grow this thing? And like, what channels should we even try to go after? And I'm not saying just for me, but I kind of want to hear what y'all go after. Obviously real estate's a little different than, sports, and business might be a little different than real estate, but I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on that.
Well, with this setup, I mean, YouTube is just it's a fantastic setup for YouTube, obviously, with the video and different cameras going on. But for us, it's probably a little different. We started as an audio podcast. Right. We've probably struggled with getting a conversion into live viewers for our podcast. So there's some things that we're trying to work out with that, but we've kind of always known that we were going to be a weekly show. We tried to get into multiple shows a week, and it got to be a little overwhelming for a couple of us. It was just a lot to manage, and it became not fun. And that's kind of what I was going to, is like, if it wasn't going to be fun for me, it's going to turn into work. I was probably going to struggle with it a little bit. So I pushed back a little bit on that, but now it's gotten to the point where it's a weekly show, and we have a team of interns, thank God. But really, they do a lot of help on like the social media part. I told them, like, if we're only going to have a once a week show, it's different than Jordy's. I mean, you do a lot of work on social media, but you have a daily show and it's very consistent. We're probably not as consistent. And we have a once a week show. We have to do a lot of that legwork on the social media side to stay relevant and keep that content going constantly on all the platforms. And one of the ones that we've really tapped into recently was TikTok. I mean, it's just a complete mind blow of like how big, I know he does, how big TikTok kind of blew up for us, and understanding, it started making me understand our demographic a little bit differently, where TikTok and Instagram is a little bit more of our demographic. Twitter is a space that I can use all the time and just talk and talk and talk. But it's not necessarily my exact demographic yet. I'll see followers decrease, and then I'll see followers increase, and I know in my head I'm actually targeting my demo better now. Even though my followers are the same, my demographic is targeted a lot better now, because they get my content, and the people that wanted to unfollow me, they weren't gonna listen to our show anyway. So I had to, exactly, and that kind of goes with the territory. But I've had to learn that over time, and I love that aspect of it. It's really like a marketing aspect that I enjoy. I'm in advertising sales, like that's kind of like my demographics is my go-to, and any way that I can kind of find that, I will. But like TikTok, I don't know the first thing about TikTok. I know nothing about it. So I have a couple of interns that do. Zach Von Rosenberg was with us, and he was doing a lot of video content for us, and he was very recognizable, and I could use him in a different way. And it's kind of like just putting the people in the right positions at that point that know it, because I'm 43. Like I don't know the first thing about TikTok. Like I don't know Instagram like some of these kids do. Like I got to put these guys in the position to kind of get relevant and get your content to the right demo.
Right. Yeah. What do you think, Patty?
So I'm same boat with you, understanding what platform is going to work the best for what you're going after.
Right.
You know, Jordy crushes it on YouTube,
is
IGTV, Reels, etc. What we found is really great whenever we got approved for it was LinkedIn Live.
Oh, love it.
Huge.
LinkedIn Live
for you,
is
for
huge.
business
for
too.
the business show,
and also to grow your career as an accountant.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it
it's
can't
great.
hurt. It can't hurt. You know what I mean?
It's where the money's at. And it's where, going back to your demographic, it's where a bulk of the demographic is business-minded individuals, right? For our particular show, they're hanging out on LinkedIn.
For sure.
And if we're putting out good, valuable content in a platform that they're already on, that's where the show
But
needs to go.
I would also say LinkedIn has turned into more of a feed. Like even 5 years ago, LinkedIn was more of just
Job
business,
postings.
job posting.
Sure.
Like I got a new
Absolutely.
job. It's now become almost like Facebook,
Absolutely.
right?
It's almost like they've
you're-
evolved with
well,
the times.
and the
you know?
beautiful part about it for people like us is that the algorithm is still wide open.
I agree.
It
Right?
is.
Like,
I agree.
It's
Things
awesome.
have all been kind of squared in and cornered in, and to where you want to get in front of as many eyeballs as possible. LinkedIn is still a wide open space.
And they have a lot of parameters you can search and target.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, they allow targeting really well.
Watch how much our business grows with LinkedIn in this space over the next 2 years. I'd imagine that LinkedIn will become a hub for people like us
I
that
agree.
we can just press send, go, and it'll be in front of thousands of people immediately. Where you can go on Facebook, you can go on YouTube, you can get on some of these other social media platforms, and it's a little bit more governed. It's a little bit more
Yeah.
oversighted. In
Yeah.
the sense of you may not be able to reach everybody that you're trying to, because the analytical power is what that's what we leverage.
That's what you're
Right?
leveraging
I
with
mean,
the
like,
sponsors. I mean,
The way that they
everybody.
the way that they antiquate, or the way that they calculate ratings within traditional media is
Sure.
very old, right?
Right.
Like, I
It
mean, you
is.
go
Nielsen.
into it.
I had a conversation about
Nielsen is
Nielsen
like
yesterday.
Nielsen's dead.
I
dude.
mean, come
it's
on.
like,
Hey, I filled one of those
Are you
reports out
joking?
last year.
Like, like, who fills
You
that
took
Is
$1
it
out?
unbelievable
Like,
that
Oh, I took
people-
my. Of
that's
course, I
why-
took my dollar. That's why I did it.
I mean,
I was like, I'm going to be the youngest person to fill this report.
They send
Ever.
Probably.
Yeah, they
that's
send
why
me a
Lucid.
Nielsen
That's why
package. I'm
Lucid exited for like over $1 billion.
100%.
I mean, they were the first unicorn in Louisiana because they send you a quick link where you can fill out and get this data all through an application, and you can target it for businesses and quickly get your data that
Absolutely.
you need.
Oh,
And I
And
mean,
you can-
that's the way
you
it's
can
gonna
narrow
be.
it down. I
Oh,
was
it's so granular. I mean,
Oh my
like the
gosh.
power of the numbers of you walking in. It's not a sale anymore. I
Right.
mean, my background is sales. Sports is kind of the vessel that gets me into the conversation.
Right.
Right.
At the end of it, we're selling. I'm selling,
No doubt.
and the sale
We all
power,
are.
the leverage now on this side of the table, where it's not a sales call.
Right.
What demographic are you looking for? Here they are. You
Right.
want to talk to them?
Right.
You need to advertise here.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, if that's the demo that you're looking for, look, they're clicking when they sign themselves up for these platforms, who they are, when they were born, what's their zip code. You want them, here they are. And it's not as much of, hey, believe in us, right? I mean, the numbers
right.
say this, but we're really talking to more
Just
people.
trust
you know what I
us.
mean? Yeah, it's
trust us.
yeah, I mean, it's more of just a very scientific. Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I
easy
was,
to see.
I was having lunch the other day with a potential sponsor, and I was telling him about the reach of the show, and he says, "Well, that's all great, but my target audience is this age to this age, and in Baton Rouge and Prairieville and Gonzales." I said, "Perfect. I'll send you those stats.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can
They're
nail
there.
it down to
Yeah.
all right. You want male and female? What do you want? What do you want their hobbies to be? Like, what kind of
Right.
are you looking for
Annual
people?
income.
Yeah, what's their
Exactly.
annual income?
I mean,
like,
what-
what demographic do you want? And so I'm able to then run my reports and pull down these details and send it to them. Say, hey, this is who you're hitting. Forget about everybody else in the 32 countries we're heard in, and the 30 states we're heard in. Forget that. Here's where we are in your area.
Yeah.
Who you're touching, the age they are, what their likes, dislikes are.
Absolutely.
Are they even following your page?
Right.
And I'm urging now on sales calls to give us promo codes to
Oh, for
hold
sure.
us accountable.
That's
Right.
what I would say.
Allow us to
Trackable
show
is
you
key.
the return on investment.
Trackable
Right?
is key.
Like, don't be out there guessing where it's coming from. Allow them to tell you the promo code is the Colada Show or
Oh.
Jordy01 or whatever it is, so you know, like, hey, the advertising that we're spending there is working. You don't have to guess where people are just kind of dangling in the wind. We know, I mean, people know you go in to sell advertising, you're a little bit of you're kind of in an open space where if they ask you a couple of questions of how do I know who I'm hitting, where I'm hitting, when I'm hitting, you're like, just trust me.
This
You know what I
is
mean? Like,
The numbers say
yeah,
that.
right. How's your golf game? You know what I mean?
When I play well.
Right. I mean, it's just it's a different way of selling now.
yeah. There's
It's a different way of selling now.
You
Yeah,
can't
damn, it's that
hide
type of
from the
party here?
numbers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't
Do we
hide
need to
from
take
the
a
numbers.
commercial break? Or?
Yeah, you can't hide.
You can't hide
Yeah.
the numbers, and they can see it, right? So once it gets down to that
That's true.
trackability, and you start having with promo codes or even like you're navigating your site, oh, they clicked and they went out to Falaya.com. They went out to JordyColada.com.
I mean,
It's
dude,
all-
that's what
now
we're
you can
tracking.
Click-through
see
rates, as you
who
can
is
see, yeah.
who is our referral sites,
Right.
and you can see
Especially
all
for
that with
somebody
data.
like you, man.
Dude, that's all we're doing. I mean, we're about to kick it off I mean, that's why we're kicking this off, and we're about to kick off a marketing campaign. And I mean, dude, tracking that is landing pages, click through, conversion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to be our jam for the next, forever.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Absolutely.
the customer acquisition
And that's your
costs.
that's the gasoline.
Oh, yeah, man.
And
that's
that's
it.
the reason why TV sales has gravitated towards digital sales
Well,
as well.
That's why
Radio.
that's why it streams now.
What's
I mean,
OTT?
it's
like, who
and,
streamed the show?
Connected
How many
TV,
subscribers
Connected
do you
TV.
have?
Connected TV
Yeah.
and OTT.
Absolutely.
It's basically digital TV that you can target.
But then
right?
video pre-roll, things like that you can
And
use
what's-
that you can target.
What's really cool now is your ability to go from your phone and project it to your TV. Somebody was texting me. He said, "Oh, I was listening to your show on Spotify, and all of a sudden
That's
I turned
so
I
true.
turned at my TV, and I'm watching you
Absolutely.
on Spotify."
Well, how great is that?
And I was like, "I love that I'm
That's-
approved to do that. I'm
Right.
approved from Spotify. You
Exactly.
can watch it."
That's the
That
best.
is-
Well,
form
and
of
I'd
advertising.
imagine within a year, it seems like every new car that's manufactured, when you turn it on, your dashboard is just going to pick up your application page,
I would
and all
agree,
you do
dude.
is hit YouTube.
It's gonna be
and next thing you know,
YouTube,
you're just
dude.
watching.
You're watching.
the screen right there. I mean,
kinda
Or
the
dangerous.
AM, FM.
I think there's going to be
to
some
kinda- it's kinda
government
It's gonna
regulation.
get to that
you may not
point.
be able to listen or watch it, but you'll be
You'll
able
be
to
able to
that's
hear it,
you'll
yeah.
be able
Hear
to
the
access
audio.
it. You'll be able to access Spotify from your
Podcast.
dashboard.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Sure.
I mean,
I
it's-
really feel that's going to happen in cars. For
Right.
Sure.
Well, I mean, like you said, I mean,
Yeah.
the traditional media is now bundling
They
their
have to.
traditional service with
Right.
their digital products. The
Yeah.
digital products is what they're pushing.
I mean, that was really, one of the biggest things that I want to talk about was the future of media, right? Because, I mean, what we are doing is a little disruptive for the media space, on how we're connecting and touching people or just doing it in different ways. I don't want to use like disruption, but it's just how can we get inventive on reaching our customer, giving them the information they want and they need and they're reaching for, and
But I think it is disruptive, Barrett.
it very much so is.
It very much is.
It's very
It is.
disruptive.
And especially in this market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like within this market, it's very different. It's very outlying right now, but in minutes, it's going to be a full house because
Right.
this is the tidal wave of the change. You're feeling it. We're in it. We're kind of ahead of the curve. I mean,
would
I can't
agree.
tell you how many emails, DMs, text I get about people asking me, how do I get there?
right.
What do I need to do? Where do I
Right,
start?
yep.
How do you get to a space where I own my media, I'm producing my media, and I have my own channel to blast and
That's the other thing is you control it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the other big
That's the
factor.
power.
That's the power, right? That is the power of it all, right? What I want to say, what I want to get, what I want to send out there to the world and tell them what I'm about. I now have control over that. Like 10 years ago, everybody else was controlling it, and
Absolutely.
they restricted it.
I mean,
And
look
it
at
was,
what Kevin Durant's doing. Look at what Peyton Manning's doing.
Right.
Look at what I mean, I Am Athlete, these podcasts that are just blowing up. These guys are an understanding of I don't need to go to traditional media. I don't
No.
need to go sit on Sports Center and talk to these guys and let them control the message and own the questions and put me in some corner where I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to put it out on my channel. I'm going to get all the clicks from it.
Yep.
I'm going to go to an advertiser and sell that. And then I'm going to get YouTube to pay me from all the Google ads that are running in between it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, ESPN, you're running my stuff on your platform
Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the power that I'm just speaking from an athletic point of view. I mean, that's in every
Yeah.
single arena that's happening.
Well, and I think the powerful thing to see within the athletic space is what you're doing with what you're going to do tonight, right? Your watch parties.
That is
Right.
the
Instead of
biggest-
people going and watching the game broadcast on ESPN, they may put it on and minimize and turn the volume off because they want to listen to you giving your reactions and your ability to kind of talk about the game as it happens live. They want to participate with that in you, and you don't have to go through a couple $100 billion company and try to push that out across all the airwaves. You sit on your YouTube channel saying, "Come watch."
Yeah, it's a
It's
powerful
the
platform.
Manning cast. So I
It's-
actually had that
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So
I
it
had
is.
that on my thing, like
didn't
an
miss one.
outline, because the Manning cast is just taken over.
And how much
I
did
mean,
it blow away the
and it
regular broadcast?
crushed.
I couldn't even
It
tell you
crushed
at
them.
first.
I mean, dude,
who was even
Louisiana
on the
boys,
broadcast.
you know?
I mean,
Like,
they
you
killed
gotta
it.
love
And,
it.
I mean, I'd imagine that they're going to have to put it behind a paywall now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to charge for it. There's going to be some type of change in access because it's too popular. You know what I mean? Like it's so popular that they're crushing the networks.
Yeah. If I was
A-list.
those announcers, I would have been pissed.
Sure.
Pissed.
You know, I mean, well, their checks are still clearing, but
Sure.
you know
I
what
mean,
yeah,
I think they're missing
but
the
they are
deal.
they're getting their ass whipped.
Yes.
You know
I
what
mean,
They're just-
the checks are only going to come for so long.
yeah, right. Well, I mean, that it's almost the change happening in front of your face. You can
Right.
flip back and
agree.
forth on your television station from ESPN to ESPN2 to say, this is the change. Like, ESPN is not
They're
going
A/B
to
testing
exist
it.
like
They're
this.
A/B testing.
Exactly.
They're A/B testing.
And
right?
look where everybody's sitting and watching. Everybody was sitting on ESPN2 just listening to, Eli. I mean, Eli blew up.
Yeah.
Look at the personality.
I know. It's good
Yeah,
to
I
see
mean-
that,
I mean,
right?
he was
you
really
kinda
the
always
winner.
he was
the
always
winner.
He was kind of like
Yeah, the little brother.
the
Yeah.
little brother, and he's kind of coming to his own. It's kind of funny in the back
Yeah.
and forth. I mean, you can't beat that, right? I mean, so it's just kind of a cool thing to see, and I think those watch parties are extremely key. Like, I mean, y'all, it's gravitated not just from the Manning cast, but the effect that that's having on how people are taking it in. And I just wonder, like, what would the next step be? Like, I mean, how would it go past that?
One
I
thing that
think
we're flirting
the
with
comments, right?
the comments is bringing people in.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we watched the national championship game,
Right, with-
Alabama and
I
Georgia.
saw that, and you brought.
We had Jack Besh, Mason's. We
Yes.
had
Nobody
Major
was watching
Burns.
ours because of this. Yeah. I was doing shots.
Major Burns and Jaqueline Roy.
You were doing. I didn't see that.
Right, I mean-
you were doing shots.
Yeah.
dude.
That'll
I
get
did
them.
we did a shot list. It was a shot list. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll get them.
We had to do it's our demographic. Yeah.
But Major Burns is coming back tonight. He's going to
Yeah.
watch the basketball game with us, and I think
I think that's cool. That's yeah.
real access
That's
because
access,
these guys
right.
are now in their element. They're real comfortable. You're kind of just lounged up watching a game.
You kind of see who they
and-
really are.
Yeah, right. You're
Because I
able
mean,
to
dude,
kinda hear-
after even us, we're on a camera, but right now, but like after
Yeah.
about 10, 15, 20 minutes, you start to calm down and you
yeah,
you kind
a
of
little bit
like
more candid.
you become a little more candid,
Yeah.
especially whenever the lights aren't so bright.
Right.
It's like, and you're sitting
Absolutely.
on a couch, it's like you become yourself. And
Right.
It's authentic. And I think that's why people like is authenticity. I think
Absolutely.
that's extremely important in like anything that you do because people will see through that in 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
2
man.
seconds, man. They can smell it more, faster than anybody. I mean, I've had more people come up to me and tell me when you give like a BS take rather than a real take, like, you didn't believe what you were saying. We
I
could
couldn't
tell
really
you were
say it.
full of
Company
it this
man.
morning, right? I mean, like, and you are. I mean, it is. I mean, you can't lie to people in this medium. You can't lie to this microphone because it's going to catch you. At some point, you're going to have to be yourself. So you might as well just approach it like that. You know what I mean? The faster you find out in this business you can't be fake,
The better
the better it is for you. Because the fakes get sniffed out real quick.
Yeah, just start out being yourself, and you'll weed through the people that don't want to follow you. They'll drop off, and you'll get the people that actually like you for who you are, and they're going to be the more loyal followers.
Yeah.
I think that was the key. Like when I started doing this business and then they started doing articles and taking pictures of me, and like, oh, come pose for this. So, the first one, I'm like in the tie
Yeah,
and the
right.
suit.
An hour early.
What's up? Barry Blondo's
Barry
here.
Blondo here for the photo?
Barry Blondo's here. Like, take it off. 2 seconds later, I got a T-shirt on and jeans. You know what I mean? Like, don't even recognize the guy if you see him at the supermarket. You know what I mean? Like, it's like so true, but it was so unauthentic. I looked at those pictures and I'm like, that's not even me, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's not me. So, like, the best pictures were when I was actually, just relaxed and being myself. And I think that coming with that over time, you start to realize that that's really what it has to be, and you have to be that way.
Well, you can't hide from the red light.
No.
It's always going to find you, and it's gonna seep out the truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you stand in front of that red light for long enough, at some point you're going to have to be yourself. And as a youngster in this industry, you try to build up this image and who you want to be, and you've watched people and you've heard people, and you want to, hey, welcome in. How are you today? And,
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, I have to do this for 2 more hours every single day. I can't. At some point, I'm going to run out of gas. You know what I mean? Like,
then you'll change, and they'll be like, "What happened, man? You were
like,
so
what
good.
happened?
Yeah,
you
the
were
first
always
hour was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why'd you die in the second hour?
Your
What
voice,
happened?"
your voice completely changed.
Right. I mean, I couldn't finish. You know what I mean? I couldn't pull through. But yeah, I mean, it's just the fact, like we said, I mean, it's real selves too. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the beautiful part of kind of where we are. I mean, you can kind of talk freely. You can speak openly. You don't
Right.
have to be as buttoned up around issues that may have, people that are looking over your shoulder that have relationships, and there's contracts in place where you can't really say things about that program
Sure.
because that
Right.
might get you in trouble. When in this medium, hey, look, you still have to watch what you say because their relationships
there
intact.
are relationships. Like, that's the only thing I would say. There are
Absolutely.
and people, they're going to listen to what you say and they're going to judge you by it, unfortunately. But
especially locally, those relationships. I mean, you say something about somebody that is connected to someone in your network, you'll get a text or a phone call within 5 minutes of you saying it during your show.
But sometimes I
And
think
be like, "Hey,
things have to
watch
be
it."
said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people need to be put in check. I would say there's some people that aren't doing what they need to do, and they need to do it differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you invite them on the medium. Say, come on, let's talk about it.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, what about me with realtors? Like, what do they think? Are they, willing to come on here and talk to me about what I'm doing and how it's actually going to help?
Right.
Instead of just thinking that I'm out to attack and change the business. I'm actually here to help, right? But people may not see it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may think that I'm attacking them or going at them in a different way, but I'm actually trying to drive efficiency into the process for both agents and homeowners, right? But you have to, how do you package that, right? And
So what you should do is film yourself having those conversations on speaker with the realtors, invite them to come on the show and get their real reactions.
That's a great idea.
And
They'll
then,
never
and then,
give
and
it
then
to
post
me.
it on, and then
They'll
post it
never
on
give it to
TikTok.
me.
Put it on
Post it on
TikTok.
TikTok. People will eat that up.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, so-and-so from so-and-so agency, you want to come on my show and talk about the game of real estate? Who is this? Barrett? Get off.
You're gonna
Get
have to
off.
bleep out their names whenever you say it.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
Just at the end of the
That won't be
call,
a good way
hey,
to endear yourself to the game.
No, I would say not. Yeah,
That's not even that we would do.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe a couple old fashions.
Exactly. We can do that.
but then you
But,
get them talking about you though.
No doubt, and that's the line, right? How
Yeah.
do you flirt with that line of getting
All press is
click,
good press?
getting getting
I don't
clicks
know
and getting
about that.
viewers,
Right.
and but still, being you,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
It's a
definitely
fine line.
It is a fine line, which leads us into this thing, like getting and maintaining sponsors. Like, obviously, we're self-funded at this point, but down the road, there's a lot of opportunities for us as well. And I know that all of y'all have gone down that road a little bit and had those conversations and, been able to have success in that. So, I mean, any advice you have for people that are just starting out to getting sponsors or working those relationships?
Have solid glasses that don't show what liquid's in them.
Yeah.
If your sponsors are picky about that, I mean, I've had conversations with.
I had a sponsor
cussing.
we cuss.
Really?
I mean, yeah, but they didn't want to. They want to be a part of it because we cuss. And it
See, I'm a
again,
cusser. I'm a
though,
cusser,
that's
dude.
that's
I'm a
kind of
cusser. You know
yeah,
that.
and that's kind
Me
of
too.
that's kind of our we
Hey,
don't.
but that's your brand,
It's
right?
kind of our brand. I mean, it's not. I mean, we need to probably watch that a little bit and not be so blatant about it, obviously. But if they're not comfortable with that, then they're probably not comfortable with our podcast. Like, so I don't.
We recorded last year in a bar.
It's actually it's probably going to be not a benefit for them to advertise with us because our demographic won't do business with them.
That's probably
So it's actually not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I have to think about it that way, and it all goes back to demographics. But as far as sponsorships go, for me, I mean, with just advertising in general, to me, it's just all about relationships. It's just always been about relationships for me, being genuine with people. When we first started, it was just like people were helping us out, and it was just like $100 a month, absolutely. For us we're just talking once a week. You're gonna pay me $100 a month, okay? And it just started that way, and it's grown obviously. And you have title sponsors, and you have to figure out, okay,
the mix.
I got to put all these on there. But when people believe in you and your product, but then also see the benefit because of actual numbers that are attached to it, plus the relationship dynamic, and it's just like this whole marriage of things that work together. And to me, it's the same in like just advertising my day job. It's kind of the same thing where if I can reach your people and we have a solid trust factor between us, and that I'm not going to put you in a position. And if I told you that, look, we're taking a hiatus, like, don't pay me any money, like, they know that I would do that. I think there's something to the relationship part of all that.
Right.
And obviously, I mean, we blew up on TikTok and people started reaching out to us, and I was like,
really?
crap.
That's crazy.
But that's, I think, maybe where we could be going, but not where we started from. Where we started from was the relationship part.
Right.
When people just reach out to me and I don't know them, to me, that's just crazy land. I'm trying to figure that out, but that's, yeah, that's the future, I would think, not the present.
Yeah, I mean, I invested in Jordy at the beginning because of the relationship that we have, right?
For sure.
I mean, and that's absolutely the case, right? The relationship is paramount, you know. But I mean, it's interesting too because you and Jordy both had media sales experience, and I'm wondering if that didn't have a, you know,
It was easy for me.
positive effect with you.
It was actually too easy for me at first to get sponsors.
Right.
And that's not trying to sound cocky. It was just you started getting sponsors, and I'm like, we don't really have anybody listening yet. And I felt like I needed to deliver. And so I started doing a lot of social media pushes for those sponsors. I was doing everything that I could to make sure that they were going to be seen in one way or another. And then knowing that I had a weekly show, I really had to integrate that into the social media field to make sure that they understood that we were trying to take care of them any way possible, to make it worthwhile for their dollars. Like I actually felt guilty. I was like, I can't believe you're paying me $500 a month. I don't have to work my ass off to get you $500 a month worth of, you know, at first, you know, but it's kind of like it builds up. And I like the fact that a lot of people maybe try to go in and they feel like they're going in on the ground floor, and they trust you and they believe in you enough to know that that's actually going to be a growing product that they're probably trying to get in at the beginning. And I'm sure you appreciate that too. I think we've talked about that before, but it kind of just grows with them and they feel like a part of it and almost like a partner with you. And I hate saying sponsors sometimes. I like saying partners because I feel like that's what they are.
That's actually a good idea. Yeah. I mean, it is a partnership, right?
I mean, I tell people when they sign on, I am almost like on your payroll. I'm an employee of yours right now. I'm your mouthpiece. You know, I'm going to be able to speak your lingo, talk what's important to you, numbers, anything that you want to push, contact information. I need to be able to just spew that out as if I am a part of the team and a part of the company. I mean, almost like I am because I'm on your payroll, right? I mean, I'm somebody that is accounted for and money is going out to, and I want to make sure that, you know, we're accountable for that and that we're delivering. So, you know, I mean, I absolutely think that the way that we were selling it at the beginning was so mirrored of where I was coming from in traditional media that, you know, it was a really good bridge of kind of finding the ways that open up to sell in this space. And really, it's so wide open.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That you have to really kind of find a way to keep it tasteful in the sense of, you know, it's digestible for the audience.
Right.
But it's also getting the bang for the buck for the advertiser, right? Like they're getting the maximum of what they're paying for. And that's also, again, a fine line because there's so much to sell. Like you could break this thing down to segments and breaks and 30-second spots and intros and outros and social media and product placement and logos behind your head. And I mean, we could do this all day. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to buy? Tell me where you want to be, and we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so it's really the fine line of walking. Hey, keep this thing sellable, where it's impactful on people, and people are seeing who's supporting and who's partnering with the show and with the company, and being able to bring them back some type of bang for that.
And you want them to be long-term clients too. Like, you know, I tell that to people in TV. It's like, I'm in the long game with you. Like, I don't want you to just quit in 3 months. If you quit in 3 months, it's because I didn't do my job. I want to grow with you. So I want you to do business with me and I want to help you get there. It's a legit partnership if you think about it that way.
It's a little bit harder from a CPA background.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but you're kind of
it's a learning process.
But you're very
though,
detailed.
right?
That's great.
It's like I knew that coming in. Like, okay, I know not a lot of sales, but I'll have to figure it out. And you have to learn and adapt, and you have conversations.
You're
with other
kind of doing
salespeople.
that, right, with Guarantee a little bit. I mean,
I'm talking with them and figuring out what can we do to make it work, and also how do you go about pitching this and selling this? Because if you're this whole thing is like for people wanting to start with something, right? So if you don't have that sales background, you can figure it out. You're going to butcher so many of them, and you got to understand the power of numbers, right? You're not going to go out and see 10 people unless you have tremendous relationships and get 10 sponsorships, right? You got to figure out what your numbers are. How many people do you have to get in front of that A, fall within your targeted demographic from their marketing, B, have the budget to afford what you're trying to sell, and believe in your message. If they don't believe in what you are doing as a product, they're not going to advertise with you.
Right.
Yeah, I think that belief is huge, right? I mean, it's also, it comes back to authenticness, you know? I mean, you got to have it, and it comes through. If you don't really think what you're selling, you know, like people are going to smell that out in 2 seconds.
100%. I mean, you know, you and I are a great example.
Right.
I mean, when we were trying to fly this thing in the air, I mean, you go to relationships that you have, that you trust, that you know, that you know, I mean, you'll always know where I live. I can't go on my radio show. I can't go on my podcast and, you know, like not give you your bang for your buck and run.
Jordy knows where all my skeletons lie. You know?
Right.
Vice versa.
He's hiding some of them for you.
That's right. You better sponsor.
That's right. Yeah. Barrett, should I go public with 98?
Yeah.
1998.
That's right. Make that check out to CJC Media. I appreciate it. I'll be there in 15 minutes.
Funny, man. Those were good years, though.
They were.
No doubt.
Y'all want to talk about that? I mean,
do we need different podcasts.
Yeah, different podcasts. I think
Different
we need
podcasts.
old-fashioned.
Yeah, right. Take calls.
I'd love to hear about 98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say what age I was at that year, but I'd love to hear about it.
Jordy was killing it at running back, right? He was Parkview.
Quarterback.
Or quarterback. My bad. I'm sorry.
I was a sophomore in college, so
Were you?
each y'all, yeah.
You born yet?
I was 2.
You were 2. You were 2. That's funny. So I guess, you know, obviously we talked about entrepreneurship and like the journey of it, right? You know, it's not easy to do this, right? I mean, it's, you know, like you said, you have another job, so do you. You know, you're doing this every day, you're in it. You know, you have so many other obligations and family, and we have other things going on, and I'm trying to grow this business with Falaya, you know, gangbusters across the states, you know? And so how do you keep that fuel going and keep it fired up? You know, like when I turn the camera on today, I'm like, this is the first podcast. Let's get it rolling. You know, like how do you keep that? It's easy on day one, right?
Sure.
I would say whenever I initially launched Falaya, I was so jacked up, man. I mean, I couldn't even, I'd stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning just pounding it out with the developers. And, you know, after a year, you get a little bit of edge, and it's like, how do you keep that fire going? I think that's extremely important for people to understand that it's not as easy to do that as you think. And you've been doing it since 2019, and you got a baby. I mean, it's hard, you know?
Tough.
It's tough. Life happens, you know?
For me, it's loving the moment you sit in the chair. For me, it's whenever I sit in the chair, I'm not coming here to push my day job. I'm not coming here to push a 9 to 5 that some people are in there to clock in and clock out. I'm here because I love sitting in this chair. I love interacting with people and having the conversations with them. I wouldn't have done it for, you know, come up on year 4 if I didn't love sitting in the chair. So you have to truly, it goes back to authenticity, like we've been talking about this whole show. You have to be true to yourself. Do you really enjoy this? If you don't, you're going to get burned out so fast and so quickly, and people are going to call you on it. They're going to be like, man, Jordy, like if you wake up and you're not feeling it that day, Jordy, man, you all right, dude? Yeah. Like you didn't do a good show this morning, man. What's up?
You needed that extra cup of coffee.
Yeah,
right?
Where's the other cup of coffee? Like they're going to notice it. Your audience will notice it if you start to be like, I just didn't feeling it.
That's the thing. Jordy is in the morning.
He's every day, man.
In the morning, dude.
Right.
In the morning.
Well,
like, I mean,
you definitely have to be a morning person if you're going to do this the way that I do, the schedule that I have.
Yeah.
And I've always been a morning person. I mean, I don't drink coffee. Never have.
Never drink coffee?
Never. Don't set an alarm. Up every day, 4:30 a.m. and
when do you go to the gym? What's your routine? I'd love to hear this. Like,
well, like,
are you like
so
working out?
I have my son every other week. So when I have him, I wake up and make his lunch, get him ready to go.
Rivers.
And then, you know, on what the weeks that I don't have him, I'll usually now get into the studio a little earlier and begin just to read up on stories from the night before.
Sure.
We have a daily document that we just kind of dump into. Everybody just kind of feeds into for 24 hours. And then you get there. You know, I'm usually the first one to get into the office, and I'll start to kind of edit that document down of, you know, like what's going to be our primary topic, what's things that we need to be prepared for, things that we're really going to talk about. Some things we may, hey, this could something that we want to shift to tomorrow, a primary topic. Like this is good for a secondary today, but let's put this tomorrow and make sure and get to it. When you have a story like today, like Sean Payton retired,
Right.
I mean, it's easy show prep. You know what I mean? Like, everybody tell your favorite Sean Payton story, and let's get a New Orleans Saints guest who can come on and talk about the impact of Peyton and who might be next. So, I mean, sometimes the days kind of write themselves.
Right.
But on days when they don't, you have to be a little creative. In this market, LSU football always sells.
Yep.
When you are desperate for content in the sports podcasting space or sports broadcasting, you can talk depth chart and schedule and roster and recruiting, and you can get by on 2 hours.
My cousin loves listening to you do that. He's like, oh, I heard you on Jordy's show.
Yeah.
Loves listening to that, man, and he lives and breathes.
People gobble it up.
Oh, they do.
You know what I mean? They
man.
gobble it up. I mean, look at a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. You know what I mean? There's 100,000 inside, and there's sometimes 250,000 people outside. It's not just that;
it's the energy, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like it's like not just the people; it's the love, and the
Absolutely.
fight,
Passion,
the passion, right? And that goes kind of something we kind of wanted to talk about too was prepping. Like, do y'all do a lot of prep, or do you fly by the seat of your pants? Like, Jacob wanted me to bring it into this because he's an organized guy that likes to keeps his train going on the tracks. So we need some organization and need to learn how to prep.
Right.
So
I kind of fly by the seat of my pants.
Do you?
I
kind of that
in
way.
the sense of like, but I live it. TV's always on sports.
Sure.
I get in the truck.
It's your
on
life.
Sports radio.
Yeah.
When I get out, you open up your computer. It's on a sports page.
Mm-hmm.
It's always there. It's always around. The people that I talk to talk sports. When I go to lunch, we sit down for 15 minutes before we get to business. We're talking about sports. After we talk about business, we're talking about sports. It's a lifestyle. You still have to read. You still have to watch. You still have to keep up with what's going on. But for the most part, when your lifestyle is about what you're doing and what you're talking about, some days I go in there and I'm not as prepared as I was the day before, but you can kind of fall back on a topic that everybody's comfortable and knows, and you can pull people into it.
Yeah.
Right? Where, you just talk about it and things start to open up.
Yeah, and I think having the right people around you too. Like,
Sure.
You've got some, great people around you, and that support is extremely important.
100%.
I think Lloyd is a great addition to your team.
He's fantastic.
He's hilarious,
he's
dude.
great.
I never even met him. He finally followed me on social media. I'm like, I need to meet this kid. He's hilarious.
He loves your house on Clay Cut in Glenmore.
Oh, does he? He needs to buy it.
I know. I said, the first thing Bear's going to say to you when you tell him that is, you need to buy it.
Sign that deal, man.
You know me well.
Absolutely. But Lloyd's been a great addition, man. He's a guy that we came from traditional media together, and he's kind of developed into a personality. He's kind of a guy that's gone from behind the camera to in front of the camera, and just kind of building a hybrid. He's put in a ton of hours.
We're talking about doing that a little bit.
Jacob's great. Yeah, and
He's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
He'll be better than I'll ever be on the mic.
Yeah, and Lloyd is. Lloyd's better than me in the sense of being able to be personable, be humorous. He can
quick-witted.
always very
quick-witted. I think is the key.
Absolutely.
I used to listen to.
and he's got a heavy dose of he doesn't care. And in this space,
Heavy dose of don't care is what you need.
in this space, when you got that, you're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I tell people when we go to talk to classes or we go talk to young journalists all the time, the faster you can get to a point where, are we cussing here?
Yeah.
Where you don't give a fuck what people say about you.
Yeah.
The faster you will get to a better place in this industry.
Right.
Because if you care and if you listen, it will eat you up and spit you out. When you care about that stuff, you can't get away from it. You can't run from it. If somebody tells you they heard something, if somebody said that they saw something, if somebody sends you a link about something and you open it up and you read it and you give a damn, you're in trouble. You're in trouble because
I think that's something that I need to hear too.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes I need to hear it from people that tell
not
me,
that
like,
I
"Dude,
truly
don't
care,
about
but
that."
like
Yeah.
I'm like disrupting something.
Sure.
And there's going to be people that don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are going to be people that don't like it. And I have to be like, that's not a problem. It is what it is. I truly believe we're going to help in the long term, but they're going to feel how they feel. Right?
Absolutely. And the best message that I've ever been told from that position is you can only control what you can control, man. And if you start worrying about the uncontrollable on the microphone, you are going to wither. You know what I mean? Like it's going to kill you because you can't. It's a unwinnable battle. You know what I mean? Like you'll never, even if you feel like you've won one, you're still losing because there's somebody over there talking. You know what I mean? So after that win, you're going to have to go fight again, man. I mean, it's just, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And the faster you can get to and once you get to that place in this space, it is very liberating.
Right.
It's very just, it's, hey man, did you hear about what they said about you on website? No, I didn't. And I don't want to hear about it. You know what I mean? I don't because I just don't care. You know what I mean? And even if you do tell me it still has that cut, that jab, but it doesn't slice you like it used to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where you just can kind of move on with your day and you're not hunting the link. You know what I mean? Like, where was it? Who said it?
Yeah.
What was their screen name?
They didn't take it down right
Did you get an email address on him?
Let me shoot him a DM real
Yeah,
quick.
right.
Let's kill the server.
Exactly. Call that guy from Tiger Droppings, get his name.
Yeah.
Tiger dropping.
Chicken. We'll get chicken on. Yeah, we'll get chicken.
I got banned from Tiger Droppings.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Damn.
How did
That's
you
hard to
get
do,
banned
Patty.
from Tiger Droppings? What?
That's tough to do.
How did they
bro.
do that? Does that even exist? Like,
Especially from somebody who doesn't care about
dude,
sports.
some of the stuff that's said on that thing.
I know that's the worst part. I got
Doesn't
banned.
care about LSU sports.
like legit, I got an email that said you're no longer allowed to contribute to
Wow.
Tiger Droppings.
Damn.
We have shut down your profile, and you are no longer
You still
allowed
have
to
the email?
participate.
You know what? Do you know what you
I can
said?
find it. Yeah, I know what I said.
No, so get this.
I know what I said.
So I was on Tiger Droppings. Like someone
It was like
commented.
2016 too. It was like
Okay.
a long time ago.
Must have been about less.
Someone commented on Tiger Droppings about Falaya, right? They're like, Falaya, that's awesome. You know, it's a flat fee real estate brokerage, and they're like talking about it, and they.
It was your burner account?
Someone told me,
Yeah.
and they were like, "No, it wasn't."
Self-reviews.
Hey, get on that.
Yeah, Jake will do it. Yeah.
Jacob will do it.
Yeah.
What's the timestamp? We gotta go back and listen to that.
But so then I didn't realize how it worked, right? Like I'm like, it was like, you know, I'd never
Yeah,
been on the
sure,
site. I just went on the site. So a couple people started replying. So then I started replying back to that person, to this person. And then I didn't realize it was a thread where everybody gets notifications within that thread. So I like notified like 10 times. And then a couple dudes were like, whoa, Bear Blondo, slow your roll, dude. Like, what are you doing? Stop selling, dude.
Is this not how this works?
I was like, I thought it was like a private message.
Right.
And I was like, next thing you know, I'm like blasting on the Tiger Drop.
great,
I had to go, I went and deleted
You
them.
can see this?
That's a powerful place, man.
Oh,
know,
It's
yeah.
a
right.
powerful place in the sense of there's a lot of clicks there. There's a lot of eyeballs
Yeah.
there. There's a lot of platforms there. There's a lot of rooms there.
Yeah.
Those guys have. They're sitting
I
on
know.
cold. That thing is a lottery ticket.
Yes.
It's a lot, and it's
And it keeps
been
going.
a lottery ticket.
It-
for a
yeah,
long
like that's what I'm
time.
saying.
Like-
Like, it was like old school to tech,
Yes.
like, but
Yes.
it's still just a, you know, it's just a board, you know.
It's
I
all
mean,
it is.
It's like old school Facebook before Facebook was Facebook.
MySpace.
Talk about clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clicks all day.
clicks all day.
Clicks, I mean, look at their side banners.
Never had one.
Look at their roles. Look at the people that are spending with them.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean? Like it ain't local.
I haven't.
You know what I
No,
mean?
Really?
It's corporate dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're selling big
Really?
numbers. They're
Really?
selling numbers that are. They get corporate attention.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I did not
Academy
know that.
Sports,
See, I didn't
Dick's Sporting
think- I would- I
Goods,
would-
Fast, too.
Walmart,
Real
things
fast.
like that. I mean,
Well, you know who you're targeting.
their checks
to,
never bounce.
But you definitely know the demographic that's going on. That,
Yeah.
You know, like there's a demographic that's going on. Tiger.
Oh, for
Drop.
sure.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Like, I mean, it's.
but
pretty
they've done a
obvious.
really good job of, kind of setting islands for topics.
Yeah.
So they can go in there and sell certain demographics. Like they have a Saints page.
Right.
right.
You want
It
to
does
touch New
very well.
Orleans? We got it.
Yeah.
They have a high school page. They have a
Food and drink.
They have an
They have-
OT lounge that
Right.
talks to like business owners. I
Really?
guarantee you, probably 75% of the people that's been on his show surf the OT lounge just to find out what people are talking about within the business community.
Right.
Right? I mean, they've done a really good job of keeping up with the sales patterns of digital media as kind of an old school site.
Yeah.
They were relevant when Saban was
They
here.
were. They
Yeah.
were
You know what I mean?
relevant
Like,
a long time
They've
ago.
been relevant for a long,
Long
time,
time.
man. They're a case study.
Yeah, that's
They're a
interesting.
case study. They're a case study on relevance, digital media platforms. I mean, they just sell clicks all day, man. You can sit in
Mhm.
your office and just watch that thing roll like a. Just tick, 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 tick.
Yep.
I'll have to make an alias and get back on it.
Yeah, we can get you there.
Let's see if we can get
Get you that
Operation
burner
Patty G
account,
back on top.
Before I do that, let me
Yeah,
search
great
Patty
pod.
G and see what
Yeah,
comes up.
yeah.
It won't be under Patty G.
Mugshot.
Mugshot. It'll be under my real name.
He didn't want to tell us what he did. You know? I don't know. Anyway. All right, guys. So, any like final advice for us and our team, or really anyone creating a podcast? You know, any parting thoughts for us as we go down this venture on things that you would not do or you would do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Figure.
Don't wait for it to be perfect before you start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just hit the
Sure.
record button.
100%.
I'd say that's what we did today.
Yeah, you're
right?
gonna get better episode after
We'll look back
episode
at
after
we'll look
episode.
back at this.
Oh,
in
no
6
doubt.
months and be like, holy cow!
Yeah,
Oh,
Like,
no
what
doubt.
were we thinking?
right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at where we had that. What do I listen to what I sound like? I
Yeah,
mean, all
you hear that
stuff.
echo
It's-
in the
and that's
background?
great.
That the
No
air conditioning
doubt.
on?
Like, dude,
cool
we've
stuff.
already gotten better with 3 episodes of like, yeah. It's
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
we already.
it's always evolving.
Yeah.
Consistency is the key.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's what is
You
the
told me
key
that before,
in this
and
process.
it stuck with me. But I knew that I don't know if I could ever get to that point where I was going to be as consistent as I needed to be. But I knew what I could be consistent at was going to be actual social media content. And so I've
Right.
tried to figure out ways that I could still be consistent, even though I might not be as consistent with like an actual podcast. Even though podcast is in our name, I think a lot of people realize that we're kind of not. That's not exactly what we do. We just try to be relevant in different social medias, but the consistency, one way or another, needed to be there.
100%.
And now there's like a schedule of posts that we do. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of things, and that kind of structure had to be in place.
Well, I mean, consistency doesn't necessarily mean every day, right? It means
Right.
Absolutely.
get a schedule and stick to it.
Right.
Like, be consistent on your schedule. So if you're a one show a week show, then make sure every single week, unless you communicate it to your audience, you're on there every week. Like,
Right.
if you go on our Twitch page right now, we've held ourselves to a schedule, and it says the Patty G Show will go live every Tuesday.
Right.
And it's like, if we're not live and somebody pulls up the Twitch page, then they're going to
It's
say,
not going to be there.
like,
Right.
all right, unfollow. They didn't stick to they weren't consistent on their schedule.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be like, the media slayer Jordy over here pushing content out 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to
Media
figure out
slayer.
what schedule
Slayer.
works, what your
Yeah.
schedule is and what it works, and just stick to it.
I'm gonna buy you a Slayer T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could rip
FM
it
Digital
up.
Media.
Exactly.
But I mean, consistency is it. I'm telling you, and I agree 100% with what he just said. It's not every day. Consistency does not mean every day. Consistency means if it's Tuesday at 6:00, be there Tuesday at 6:00, because what we are at the baseline doing is building habits within people,
Yeah.
and
Right.
people are building trust within us. Their habit is coming to us, and they trust that we're going to be there, right? And if the first day you're not, you're losing 10
Yeah.
minimum. That'll never come back because you messed with their habit, that pissed them off, and I'm going to find somebody else. And odds are, in that 24-hour period, they're going to find somebody that they like, and they're not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And to you, that's money.
Right.
To us, that's money.
Right.
And, when you guys take the leap and do full time like we are, you understand that
Oh yeah,
that's
key.
that can't happen.
No,
Right.
I
It's
would,
that's inexplicable.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
I show up on time to work, so
right.
I'm gonna show up on time for that job.
Sure.
And
Sure.
it once that as it evolves into a real job, that's the I guess the difference that I'm trying to fit into now. So I'm kind of in that little path right now. But going back to your point about maybe the first episode, not just taking a leap. I was watching. I've been watching a lot of live stream Barstool lately,
Mhm.
and I'm
Big
a big tech. I've become a tech nerd since I started doing a podcast.
You
But
have
it's all
to.
about the microphone, it's all about the sound, it's all about the video, all this
Right.
stuff. And then you watch like a Barstool like midday show where they're just sitting around in these dumpy chairs and they have like regular old mic stands with regular old mics, and they're just personalities
Yeah.
sitting in dumpy chairs. And it's not about that. It's about their personality. Obviously, they have good audio and they have good video, but it's very much not like the state of the art studio
Sure.
that you would think it would be at Barstool.
Well, it
you know?
goes to the founding principle of why people consume anything for the
Mhm.
content,
Right.
for what is being told, what is being shown to them,
100%.
what is drawing them in. What's drawing them in is not shoddy audio or grainy video.
Right.
That's not, they can look past that so long as you're delivering spitfire content.
Yep.
And if you are on a consistent basis, they don't care if you're sitting there holding your phone and this is your microphone and you're talking into this and it's somehow feeding into the computers over there. They really don't care how it's delivered to them. They want to be able to consume it, enjoy it, and make themselves feel good about what they're watching, strike a nerve in them some kind of way.
Create a habit.
And so if it's great audio and that's what you're good at, perfect. You'll bring on a lot more people who are particular about their audio and their video selection.
Yep.
But for those that aren't and just love the content and the guests, your phone's going to be just fine.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why like we launched this was to like ingrain the production, the video, I mean, into our whole company and organization. Like we just have to tell so many people what they need to do and how to do it in the real estate space. And being able to do this on a regular basis, to put out that content, and then not only to put it out consistently, but also to refine my ability to put it out there, right?
Yeah.
My communication skills, my ability to get my message across clearly, then Jacob to be able to edit, to be able to produce, to be able to put it out. You can't, like, I outsourced that for a long period of time with some people. And I realized that you almost have to bring it into your organization. And video, honestly, I do think either way, audio, video, it really doesn't matter. But I think moving forward, I think over the next 10 years, your video is going to be the game.
Oh, it's gonna blow up.
It's going to blow up.
YouTube
dude.
is. I'm telling you. YouTube
and
is about to like
and
own
our
the
ability-
NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're
Right.
about to like play the Super Bowl, like have the ownership, like that. They're about to buy like the Final Four, and like I mean, you see they're the title sponsor of the World Series and the NBA Finals, and they're telling you, we are coming.
Yeah.
It's like Falaya tonight. You
Yeah.
know, like you open up,
We coming,
you tell them we're coming. Like YouTube has been,
ain't no joke. I
They've
mean,
been,
we are
and they're
coming,
not
dude. You
hinting
better
at you.
buckle up.
Like you're not hinting at them. This
Yeah.
studio, people that see this for the first time are like, oh shit,
Yeah. This
he's
is
for
legit.
real.
Oh, no, dude,
You
you
know,
can't
like-
walk past this. Like, you think those signs are just put up there for the heck of it?
No,
like
I'm
you walk
yeah.
down this hallway, you're going to see what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody in this building's going to know what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, I
And
think
they're-
if they see it on TV tonight, or if they see it on their platform tonight, they're like, this cat's for real.
Yeah.
right.
When you're
Like
setting
when
a
you're looking at
precedent.
YouTube the past couple of years, if you're another like Amazon, you know,
Right.
like they make Amazon like be like, look what they're doing.
Right.
We need to get into that space. And I mean, if you see Amazon's trying to steal Troy Aikman from Fox because
Yeah.
they want to get into the NFL game,
Right.
and don't think that wasn't a prime component of Sean Payton
For sure.
deciding
Dude,
that
he made it
I'm
blatantly
out.
obvious.
Bro.
Dude, he almost begged for it when
Well,
I
he
was
was like, I'd be good at, I know I'd be good at it. You know,
Yeah, he was
every
like-
executive was like, get his ass
Yeah.
into this office right now.
Right.
I mean,
He wants it.
NBC's probably scrambling for work next to Breeze. If Aikman goes to Amazon, him next to Joe Buck. I mean, Payton's going to get it. He's going to get a raise.
Oh,
He's gonna get a raise.
and a better schedule.
I mean, yeah,
no
stress free.
Stress free.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
all he's got to do
I
is
don't have to get
worry
ready for
about
the
what to
Packers.
say, you know?
Perfect.
And Drew's probably telling him this is a great game.
Yeah, it's a great. It's awesome on this side, bro.
Especially
It's awesome
once
on
you
this
get
side.
comfortable.
We can go play
with
golf
I mean, look at
together.
the Final Four this weekend with the NFL.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 coaches are below 45 years old.
Mhm.
2 of them are below 40.
Yep.
I mean, it's a
That's it.
young,
Andy
it's a
Reid,
young
though,
man's game.
what a beast, dude.
It's a beast,
Like,
bro.
I mean,
Great play caller, and then when you get Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean? He
dude.
deserves Patrick. If one coach in the league deserves Patrick Mahomes, and Peyton almost had him.
Didn't he?
Peyton traded up, and
Yeah.
KC jumped Peyton to get
Mahomes.
Mahomes, and Peyton went and saw. I mean,
Like, where
Peyton
would-
still tells the story about when he saw Mahomes' pro day. He saw 2 throws, and he told Mickey Loomis, "It's over.
Yeah.
Whatever we got to do, get that cat." And he was a pick away. And I think tonight, if he's got
think that
Patrick
would've
Mahomes
changed.
as a Saints quarterback, he's
He's still there.
Ain't no chance he's leaving. They're still in the playoffs.
Exactly.
I mean, they're still playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're possibly playing to go to another Super Bowl, just like Kansas City is.
But we're going for the Bengals.
Power of the draft.
Yeah,
We're going for the Bengals.
Yeah, it's Super Bowl, Fox 44. We need the Bengals to be in the Super Bowl.
yeah,
yeah.
Local TV.
Just as long as Aaron Donald's not there to
Exactly.
eat up our boy.
Yeah, I know. That'd be 10 sacks for Burrow.
I think you're setting a precedent for what businesses need to do as well.
100%.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
showing this is not just somebody talking to businesses. It's not somebody talking sports. You can have a podcast or vodcast and really have an impact for your clients, for your customers, your end user, whatever it is you're doing in business, you need to have one. And I think it's going to be
Genius,
a year
bro.
to 2 years. Year to 2 years, everybody's going to be jumping on the quote-unquote vodcast bandwagon and creating their own different stream of content they're pushing out across the different platforms. And then it's going to be, how do we take it to the next level?
Yep.
I mean,
Congratulations.
yeah.
Congrats.
Well, I mean,
This is awesome.
dude,
It's awesome.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all coming on. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's been awesome to have y'all on here to kick it off with some people that have come before us, and hopefully, the four of us can do some disruption and
Absolutely.
mix things up in Baton Rouge.
I ain't
and
going
get Baton
anywhere.
Rouge, either get the basketball team boot up,
That's right.
and,
That's right now.
That's
so hopefully we do some really cool stuff together, and everybody.
Old fashioned reviews. You're all invited.
I'm in.
No, I mean,
Old-fashioned and cigars, I'm in.
Okay.
well, he's
good.
got the what is the
You
We'll
get the
call
cigar- you get the
Durante
cigar
Jones. We're
what's the
good.
name of the
sponsorship.
cigar company? Go ahead, drop
Bocock. Bocock
Yeah,
Brothers
there you
Cigars.
go.
Premium
There you go,
cigars.
Yeah.
LSU grads. Yeah.
Gotta drop them.
Exactly.
Got to.
Can I keep going?
Yeah,
All
no,
brothers sponsors?
actually, on the outro, I was
shameless
no.
plug real
Actually,
quick.
tell people how they can follow you and whatever, man. Whatever.
Oh,
you wanna
absolutely.
tell
Yeah, One Team, One Podcast. YouTube, Facebook is where we've been streaming lately. Twitter, big presence on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. One Team, One Pod on TikTok. 22,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
And
See, we got to get on TikTok, dude.
You-
I
it's
just-
Yeah.
and it's like
I-
it happened where we just don't even realize it happened, and
I
you're
know.
like, what? But yeah,
it's
there's
the
a
way
lot
it
of
goes
content
viral.
there,
It goes
and
viral.
yeah, that content can get shared everywhere. It's a great place. I love it.
You want to shout out?
Oh yeah, so all of our social handles are at the Patty G Show. You can follow us on literally any social channel between Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook.
So proud of that handle matching.
Website. Oh, everything is
Absolutely.
all at the Patty G Show.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
you
just Google it and you'll have 4 pages.
Oh, we're
on-
gonna
on
smack
Google
you.
show
Yeah,
up.
Google Falaya.
I'm gonna find.
you'll beat me, man. But Google Falaya,
We got a team on that. I'm
Google
not gonna-
Falaya, and my video of you on the show will come up.
Oh, that's great.
Really?
Yeah, good tag.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's the other thing.
SEO,
Wait,
Barrett.
one last-
SEO, Barrett.
Well, no, one last thing I was talking about at lunch today, and I guess I'll drop a last little tidbit, but how I want to learn how to. We're creating content, right? Creating video content, and I'm embedded on my site, and it's gonna be on the blog, and it's gonna be on there. But how do you rank those videos to get you seen more? I know YouTube, you can do it on YouTube, but on straight search, Google search, how can you truly do that? Are y'all doing that? Or
Keyword optimization.
keyword
Exactly.
optimization, meta tags?
Yeah.
All that
I mean, you're
stuff,
just
man.
doing
It's
that.
fascinating.
All-
Like once
yeah.
you dive
text
in,
All
descriptions.
text.
it is a
Okay.
hole that you will fall down.
I know.
until-
We've gotta go down it,
as
right?
Long as
I had-
you
I
want
mean-
to, as long as you want to go, it'll.
I had a
It'll keep
senior
you going. And
presentation on
it's cool.
SEO.
I hate blog. Like the
Wow.
one reason why
Yeah.
I started this, like one of the mentors was like, yeah, you got to dive in, you got to do blogs. But he started his company in 2008. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When blogs
were a thing.
yeah, right.
There's
But
still a
guess what?
thing.
Guess what's
I'm
the thing
telling you,
right now?
man,
Guess
There's
what's the
still
thing?
a thing.
No.
Well, they are still a thing. We still do them every
Yeah,
week. We're
I
writing
know.
blogs, no
Take-
doubt.
take this
you got
video-
to. You absolutely have to write blogs. But am I a writer, Jordy?
You don't need
I
to.
mean, Jordy.
Barrett,
It can
take-
transcribe.
Take
I'm
this
not a writer.
video.
It'll transcribe.
Take this video, pull the transcription from it,
I
put it on your
get it, I
blog,
get it, I
embed
get
the
it.
video
I
at the
get it.
bottom of
Hunter
the
S.
feed,
Yeah.
and then you've got people. Your blogs are showing up in
It
your
was a
in your
journey
search.
into the dark abyss. Yeah.
I was there.
I was there. Yeah. Vegas had lots of lights. Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate it, man. Obviously, Jordy is easy to find. You can find Jordy.
Yeah, we're 7 to 9 a.m. daily, and all of our social handles are at Colada Show. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of the platforms. And our website is jordycoladashow.com, where you can keep up with all this stuff, merchandise and old shows and podcasts that you may find from even this morning.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all coming
Thank
on,
you, Barrett.
guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you,
It's
Barrett.
an awesome first episode.
Nice.
Day
Shout out to
one.
Jacob over here.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
Jacob, man.
Man behind the keys.
He is, man. He's got his headphones on, rocking out over there.
That's
So.
a good job. man.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time on the Falaya Focus Podcast. Hey, guys. I wanted to take a second and say thank you for watching the Falaya Focus Podcast. At Falaya, we are reimagining the way real estate is bought and sold. So we need all the love and support we can get to grow our movement. Please tell all your friends and family about all the great things that we have going on here at Falaya. Please like, share, and subscribe to all of our content, and we'll see you next time on the Falaya Focus Podcast.